So Darren, tell us a little bit about TPI Staffing here in Enid.
We are a local-owned staffing company that was started by my mother in 1989 out of her home. We are probably the Northwest Oklahoma's largest staffing agency, and that we serve a little over 300 different clients here in Enid alone.
In preparation for the visit this morning, Darren, I was looking at your website, and it said the mission of TPI Staffing Service is to increase the performance of its clients' organizations and while enhancing the lives of individuals seeking employment. Sounds impressive. How do you do that?
So many clients or many companies in the community or around the globe, whatever you want to say, but find recruiting in individuals is very difficult and very time-consuming or even overwhelming. So TPI will come in and relieve that stress for those companies. As for those job seekers, we will strive to provide the best customer service to those individuals and try to give a great atmosphere for them and treat everyone with respect. And then we will also really go above and beyond sort of their expectations.
I can see it's one less thing for an HR department to do in an organization. They can kind of hand that off to you and say, we need XYZ employee and help us out.
That is correct.
So that's how you do that. Very good.
So you're celebrating 30 years. So tell us about your celebration efforts after 3 decades in business.
So throughout the year, we will do certain events, and we will try to incorporate those events by giving back to those individuals that are working for us. So one example would be the Employee of the Month that we give out. Another example would be kind of in the middle of the summer, a cookout when they come in and say, hey, we appreciate all the work you've done for us. And then we will also communicate throughout the year just how thankful that we are for those individuals working for us.
In preparation for our visit, I noticed that you have this fancy title next to your name, President. So what does the President do, Darren?
So
you start by fixing coffee, right?
Yeah, right, and open the doors.
And it goes from there.
So my job is to plan, direct, and control all the activities of TPI Staffing Service in the most effective and efficient way possible for the company. In essence, I wear multiple hats every day. There'll be one day I'm trying to plan a marketing event, then the next day I'm working on corporate structure. So as the president of the company, my role has to be very fluid.
Well said.
So each month, TPI Staffing Service partners with Enid Public Schools by recognizing excellence in education and awarding one amazing teacher of the month. Mm-hmm. So tell us about that.
So each month, the community has a chance to nominate an excellent teacher by going to the Enid Public Schools website and clicking on the TPI's Amazing Teacher of the Month. And I believe the link is under I'm trying to remember where it was, on the department. And once they find that, they can go down, and then under the communication, they click on that. Then they have 2 questions they have to answer. And one question would be, how does this teacher improve the education of his or her students? Second question they have to answer is, please give an example why this teacher should be the TPI Staffing Service Amazing Teacher of the Month. Then once that's completed, the school system has a third party that will take all the evaluations and look at them, and then they will nominate someone. And once that happens, they let me know. Then I and the school administrator leaders will come together at the school, because it's still a surprise for that teacher. They don't know they've been nominated and they are going to get the award. And we will show up that day and we will present that to the teacher. And they will have the opportunity to spend the $250 that we're going to give to them as any way they like for their classroom.
That was a lead into one of my questions about criteria, and you kind of covered that. But my question is, city, or excuse me, a school official or a teacher is watching the show this morning, and they heard the criteria, and they go, I don't want to do that because that may sound like I'm trying to, really showboat myself, or whatever the term it is. But what would you say to a teacher to, meet that criteria, or to apply, if you will? Because they may be sat back and said, no, that's not for me.
Well, in this case, we would like to see maybe not necessarily the teacher itself, but other individuals or other teachers maybe recognize the teachers that do go up and beyond the normal call of duty. And that really speaks volume of that teacher. And so we want to be able to reward that teacher. And by doing that, we have set up this program that we could, do that every month.
And I imagine most of the nominations you get is from a teacher or a fellow teacher that says, so-and-so's doing a great job in the third grade, we need to recognize them.
Well, actually, I would say it's probably 50-50. A lot of the students nominate their own teachers. And it's really interesting to see their responses of why they pick their teacher.
So can you give us some names, maybe of some teachers or schools that have won your award in the past?
Yeah, I'll have to pull that out. Give me just a second. So this month's winner is Dana Meisner at Prairie View Elementary. Last month's winner was Denise Lavoie at Enid High School. Then the month before that, the winner was Jeff Funk at Longfellow Middle School.
Very good.
Darren, do you have any other examples? It seems like education is near and dear to the heart of TPI Staffing Service.
Yes, it is.
And to you. Are there other things that TPI Staffing is involved in besides education in regards to giving back?
Sure. The last few school bonds that was presented to the public, that we have been very proactive and providing communications and the positive effects that this bond could help or could do for our school system. Then we've also put on job fairs for the students. We've also sponsored graduation nights, after proms, many sporting events for the school systems. We've done fundraisers for them. We've also helped out the Carver school system as well. Then I also sit on the Leonardo's Children's Museum Venture Quest board. Trying to think of other things that I'm part of. We also sponsor something a little bit different, the Vance Air Force Base, one of their flight classes every year that we do that. So, but we're very involved with the school system, and we want to support them in any way we can.
Well, that's a very impressive laundry list of ways to give back to the community, and we appreciate the opportunity to be here today. So you can just, remind that Enid is such a giving community, and there's a lot of corporations, a lot of individuals that are very philanthropic, and they like to give back in their time and resources.
So I understand that the leadership at TPI would like to challenge the other business leaders in the community to join forces with you in appreciating teachers. So what could they do to help you guys out?
So glad you asked that question. And I would love to see, or I'd like to challenge all of the other business leaders in the community to help support our local teachers. There are many times that our teachers are pulling money out of their own pocket to pay for supplies, pay for materials for their own classroom. And we need, as the community, we need to help them as much as possible. And I would like to see 10 to 15 other business leaders in the community to do a monthly reward for those teachers. So if that happened, we could basically, in essence, in 2 to 3 years, have every single teacher in the school system be rewarded some way.